Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Lucid, and we are back with another turn of Mountain Arena. It is turn 69, and we have our reliable message from Mictlan. Yomi has 2 D4 assassins and 3 with lifelong protections and bottles of water. Wait, how do you have a D4 assassin scripted to do drain life? Because you have to put a black heart on them, right? I don't think they get built in. I mean, this is obviously a Dione with the Shade Mail and a Black Heart. I don't know how else you get one of these. And then that doesn't give you 2 inventory slots left to put in bottles of water and lifelong protection. So they must have either or. I wasted one of their turns with a Great Hawk last turn. The other killed a mage with my Crown of the Magi. I think I might be able to kill them using Life for Life with Ocelotl Bodyguards to take the Drain Life hit. In any case, I'm a few turns away from cracking the fort. So 3 must be that fort he's on top of. In any case, I'm a few turns away from cracking the fort, and Yomi has a large relief force inbound. So I'm going to retreat to a fortress I'm summoning in the passageway this turn. Meanwhile, I'm going to do my first 2 Reign of Jaguar casts on the Steel Ovens this turn. Pretty soon, I'll have another major army ready in that province. Meanwhile, I'm dumbing that province to hell under the assumption it's potentially a juicy target for remote attacks with my hammer-wielding mages hanging out in there. That's a pretty good assumption. So, we have some illegal cockfighting. Oh, and one of them just runs off. Doesn't even want to fight. Interesting. Oh, this was not a Commander Hawk. This was an untrained cock and against a thoroughbred. Let's see if we have any battles here. We'll kind of scoot through this. Let's see how Mictlan... We haven't seen Mictlan use Golems before. Let's see what this guy has. Lifelong protection? Oh, no. Very cool kit. Demon Whip, very good on guys with really shitty attack. It's basically like a kind of cheaper Firebrand. And then Repel and a bunch of armor. Yeah, overall very solid. Oh, excuse me. Got a little bit of allergies. Not a budget kit. That was an expensive golem. Okay, we've got a little thug-on-thug action here. We got the Frostbrand Vine Shield. Wait, I thought this was a... Oh yeah, here's the Tomb Oracle. Now he's got a ton of cold resistance. So he's going to be immune to the Frostbrand part. The Holy Scourge, not really ideal for dealing with these elves. It is 2 attacks. But he actually has to hit. And he's got 16 attack. These guys are 34 defense. Yeah. The problem is he just literally is never going to hit them. Okay, I take it back. He got hit here for 1 damage. But you can see it was pretty hard for them to hit. Vampire Lord. Oh, that's kind of cool. The Copper Plate. I think this is this one. Let's just go to the map. Okay, so Blanca moves on top of this. I think that's really the only action in the Lanka front. This is where that battle happened. Mictlan... Okay, so this was the Magic Phase Fort from... Okay. So this is interesting, because if I thought somebody was going to move here, I probably would have taken the fight. But he chose to Magic Phase Fort. Now that gives him the opportunity to Magic Phase the army out or something like that. Take all the gear off in a lab. It gives him options. Things he can do. But I think the Lanka... I mean, I think the Mictlan Doomstack probably beats this. But that's having very little knowledge of what's happening. And of course, when you magic, some people may not know this, but when you magic phase summon a fort, if it gets sieged that very same turn, basically forts are summoned without wall strength. I think this is basically how it works. So if the army moves on top of it, the wall strength never fills up. So you basically, if it gets sieged the same turn it gets made, a magic fort, then it doesn't have any walls, and like it starts off basically at 0. So that's why it's cracked. This army may have been strong enough to crack it anyway. Because this is Turmoil 2, so the Koani are going to get pretty nice little stat boost, which will help with sieging. Would have been nice if Mictlan had taken this province, which he tried to. Taking this would mean this army probably could have moved in here, but now I don't think it can. If Lanka doesn't think... if Mictlan thinks they can't take this fight, they also have the option to magic phase attack this province and retreat this army, like attack and retreat this army out. And as long as he keeps this in the normal phase, like this army moves here and keeps it, he'll keep the army alive. I think he's going to fight, though. I think we're going to see a big fight next turn. Vampire Lord. Tianchi. Just barely holding this. What did this army do? This is what I'm really curious about. Okay, so it did move here. So he's aiming to take this throne. Dear God, please Tianchi, move this army out. Take this from Yomi. I don't know if they have I doubt they have a non-aggression pact. I hope he moves out and takes this. Because that'll also mean it's going to be really hard for Mictlan to take it. Because he has to kill the Yomi stack and then potentially this Tianchi stack next. And I think that's about that. Let's make sure I didn't miss any battles. So I think we've covered it. There's an arena battle coming up. Okay, let's go to turn 70. All right, we got turn 70 here. Message from Mictlan. I'm guessing Yomi will gym burn rather than staying on top of my summoned fort this turn. But if he doesn't, expect a big fight. His army doesn't seem to have any of the nastier stuff one could imagine, scripted. Bone grinding, wailing winds, winds of death. But that could change with reinforcements. I wish I had mass regen, but I'm still a few turns short of enchantment 8. Okay. Ooh, this is interesting. The Soulslay Golem squad rolls out here against this vampire. And does indeed Soulslay him. He's upgraded his kit to include pin gear and lifelong protection. So this is kind of something we got to see in the tournament. Golems with kits pretty similar to this. Worm Mage dies to Bogus. All right, let's see if we get a fight. All right, guys, get out your popcorn. This is what we've been waiting for. This is it. This is going to be the biggest fight we've had in a couple episodes. Many turns. So, let's just take a look at it. These guys are basically... This is super combatant army. Everybody here has badass shit. He's got a storm staff. What he really needs to have is luck at this point. It's really helpful against life for life. It's pretty good against Aussies too, though probably insufficient. What Mictlan has though is probably a tremendous amount of point buffing. Some magic duels go off. Did any commanders die here? Nope. Yeah, I don't know what happened. But Yomi actually has a lot of crystal mages. I wonder what they're doing. Anti-magic. Okay, that's a pretty good thing to cast. Summon earth power. Looks like he's going to try to drop rocks. I think you actually want to try to get... I don't know if he has Will of Fates. He does, because he's been doing Wizard Tower. That's Alt 8. So Will of Fates would be really, really, really good for him to do. I hope we see it. Okay, here come the magic duels. Oh, the god is present. So the magic duels came out. We've got Quickening, Fog Warriors. Now, that wasn't Quickness, it was Quickening. And Quickening is important because it's area of effect. I think 5 or something. It's not huge, but you can paint an elite squad of units with it. Weapons of Sharpness coming down. I'm not sure what that was. Enslaved Mind. Now, Yomi has a Storm Staff, which is generally a good thing for them to have. You don't want Aussies jumping back on your mages. But so far, this is brutal. The Aussies are just tearing through the chaff. We also have Rigor Mortis up, and that's been cast by Yomi, which I think is a very good call. Demonic Cleansing actually might be a good thing to put up too. If he probably doesn't have it yet. It would hurt his own guys too, but I think it's actually a good play with Rigor. And these Kooni have pretty good stats. You know, it's 16 attack, 12 defense. Yeah, I mean, just super solid stats. A lot of them are asleep. They're getting hit by sleep clouds. You can see that's what these little blue tile things are. And the Yomi the Dione are starting to kind of wade in. What we do not have, though... Yomi did get Will of Fates off, and that's huge. It makes these guys take a long time to die. There's not many things that are going to stand in the front line against Aussies this long, but Will of Fates Kooni will last a long time, because they got 2 forms you got to hit through. It's a really good buff. And it looks like we've also got Ravenous Swarm out. Okay, we've got the first Oni Shugo getting hit by... Now, these guys die pretty quickly once they make contact with Aussies. But it's hard with the Storm Staff for these guys to fly and like pick them off again before they, you know, they heal all their fatigue. Now, Enslaved Mind and stuff can be a problem. We already see this Dione is switched sides. I think it's ultimately the Astral Mages here that are going to be deciding, and the Yomi... The Oni are running. I think most of them will get off. He's lost a couple to Enslaved Mind. Rigor Mortis is also set in, though. Losing these Crystal Mages is going to be hard, though, for Yomi. They were a sacrifice of the... Oh my gosh. So he steals the Giant Mummy. I believe this guy's going to lose his paths, too. So you can't, like, Gift of Reason him and get the paths back. And he gains a Giant Mummy and a Dione. Loses 5 turkeys and 20 Aussies. But Yomi lost 7 of his Dione. I'm just going to go ahead and say this is a very, very hard fight for Yomi to take. There are probably ways to do it. The ways to do it probably involve trying to get a surround. You actually may not want a Storm Staff for this. Now, Storm Staff is pretty good for the Phoenix Pyre business, but it's not good if you really want the Aussies to jump in and get surrounded. I think that's kind of the better hope, because if you're going to be relying on like the Phoenix Pyre bullshit, there's just a lot of Astral Mages here. This is a high mage commitment army They're just going to soul slave and slave mind you until, you're gone. And these Aussies aren't going to get, it's going to be hard to kill them with Phoenix Pyre. This is a hard fight for Yomi to win. Wailing Winds would have been really good here. Would have cut a lot of the Soul Slay bullshit, potentially. And these are also human mages, so there's ways to deal with them. So there's definitely some play and counterplay that maybe could have had that didn't. But very cool. Very cool. Tirnanog going on top of, I think, Agartha's cap there. Oh my gosh. There's a lot of dead Agarthan mages. Alright, so this looks like a bunch of research monkeys. Okay, he's put gems on them. They're casting some Swarm, some Earthblade, or Blade Wind. Oh my god, they die so fast, though. That's some angry demons. Alright. A She-Lord won the arena. There was no real battle. But yeah, let's take a look at the map here, because what this means is Mictlan has strategically won this fight. Most of the Dione, they have really high morale, so they probably all retreated here. So TNG's probably going to move in, take a swipe at defending this, but as Mictlan mentioned in their message, there are a lot more Aussies over here. And we don't know whether the Dione with the Storm Staff got gotten. I don't think he did. I think he was one of the ones to survive. But if Yomi lost that, they're definitely going to lose the next one. Because it's like, if you're going to lose 4... or not definitely, but, if you're going to lose 4 Dione to Soul Slay over the course of a battle like that, well, if you have 20, losing 4 isn't a big deal. But if you only have 12, losing 4 is like, pretty significant. Yeah, this fort's now under siege. This is the vampire that got yeeted. Oh my god. And they killed off this big stack too. Yeah, the lifelong protections really do make this work a lot better. It's a lot harder to cheese it with like advance and cast mages, because those pajama men get killed by the imps pretty good. Very, 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 very cool. Okay. Big stack here. It's just a paper agreement protecting this throne. Okay, I think that's about it for that region. Let's make sure we didn't miss any of the cool battles here. I think we looked at all these. Wait, what was this one? Oh, we saw that one. Yeah, okay. So, we can fit another turn in here. Let's go ahead and go to turn 71. Okay, turn 71. Let's take a look. Got a message from Mictlan. Victory against Yomi. A bit of a downside is now my magic item treasury is overflowing with thug gear. Oh, it just putting salt in the wound. I'm excited to gift of reason my brand new Dione. Having an Earth Mage more durable than gnomes will be useful. My blood hunting results have been down in the 200 slave per turn range. I keep adding new provinces to blood hunt, but the populations are falling. Still, as long as I can invest 120 blood slaves for 3 Reign of Jaguar casts a turn, it's unlikely I'll have a shortage of sacreds to match the mage support I'm fielding for the rest of the game. I plan a few more turns of Steel Evans forging to get all the Earth Booster gear and Demon Banes I need to launch my next offensive. Demon Banes primarily for protecting from like flames from the sky or something. Unfortunately, we're getting to the flames from the sky phase of the game, which means one has to be very careful putting together large armies of valuable human mages without resistance gear on top of forts. And all the remaining thrones are pretty well fortified. I don't see a way to get from 3 thrones to 6 without grinding my way through heavily prepared defenses. I kind of deserved to lose that Vampire Lord. It was very sloppy for him to move without stealth. I'd also forgotten his Mind Hunt protection. And I must avenge the murder of our backstage crew and the world's only master mason. Without Helmet, how will I restore Niflheim's giant palisade to its original glory? I can't easily get revenge on Tianqi's armies, but those golems must die. But how? Tianqi has greatly increased his golems' MR, so opposition won't work again. I feel incredibly lucky that I accidentally killed 2 Ring of Returning golems a few turns back. The Tianqi capital is too far away to hope to deprive them of their capital, and Midget Masher Golem Squad is also unreliable. Limb hits and repels will send his golem safely home most of the time, but I figured out one of the more reliable ways to kill Ring of Returning golems, and that is, and this turn is a good opportunity, since this golem party is in my dominion, has no visible gems, and likely rated too deep to be using a gem mule. It's a bigger risk than I'd like, since my miscellaneous slots nets to -2 MR, but the opportunity is too good to pass up. The Flying Jaguar Circus presents Unkillable Lifelong Protection Golems versus the Smoking Mirror himself. Ooh, this is getting very hype. Lanka ended their nap with me after Yomi's defeat. I ended mine with TNN. The Tianqi summoned Capital Fortress. The Tianqi summoned Fortress creep may become a problem. My portable resources are all committed to finishing off taking the Throne of Knowledge from Yomi, so I'm only doing light defenses for now. Okay, so that's interesting. So he's going to be fighting... He's already fighting in a Cold War with Tianqi, but he's planning on now fighting TNN and Lanka. How does he fight TNN, though? I thought they didn't really have much of a border. Maybe he meant to say Tianqi here? I'll have to look. Maybe there's some way they can fight. This is probably going to be the main event, though, because this is a magic phase attack, and I'm expecting it's his god. Okay, so we've got a bottle of living water. We've got this guy with an arcane lens, which allows him to teleport farther and also cast spells farther in combat. A boatload of MR. 25 MR is pretty high. A Flesh Eater so that he goes berserk. The Vine Shield to keep him from immediately going berserk from the Imp's Landing. This guy's probably here to fluff. And this guy's probably also here to fluff. So I think I have an idea what this is going to be. I think we're going to see Howl. We see Creeping Doom here at the first. I think we might also see Growing Fury. Howl. And Howl is going to keep the golems from targeting him. The Soul Slays are almost certainly going to target wolves. This guy has not gone berserk yet because he hasn't been hit. He should get hit, though. Okay, this guy's probably going to die. Has this guy been hit? He has been hit, so he's gone berserk now. Does he have regeneration of any kind? I don't see regen, so that's actually potentially spooky. Yeah, he has no way of getting back up. Oh, current maximum hit points is 16. Maybe there's some regen I missed somewhere. Ooh, some of the Soul Slays are targeting him, though. Because the Wolves are coming out, but they're getting killed by a lot of the Imps, too. So the occasional Soul Slay will percolate back here. I'm going to turn on the turn timer, because I have a feeling this is going to be important. Around 40. Still 90% of the Soul Slays are going after Wolves. Maybe more. Maybe 95. Oh, there went a few on the God. What's interesting, I was thinking he's going to do Growing Fury or something, because there's a chance that he, won't get hit. Because without regen, what are the odds that you get hit some, but then not enough? Yeah, I don't know. These imps have really low strength, or pretty low strength. They tend to get, I don't know what it is. They get wrecked by vine shields. Like, more than you'd expect, because this is a decent amount of MR, which is the other facet there. Is this guy holding a global up? God, he was risking globals too on this. And this is what happens to mindless commanders that get turn timered. Yoink! So this was a Jedi play. Turn timer and golems. I've never seen this before with Hal. Turn timer and golems is definitely a way to kill them. I don't think I've ever seen it with Hal. Definitely not like this. So that was really cool. That's going to go in my book of tricks. Also very risky. You know, the guy had to go berserk. He had to not get killed. He didn't have regen. Maybe this guy was supposed to cast regen on him or something. Didn't happen in this replay. You know, you have to stack a ton of MR on this guy, so it has to be in friendly dominion on your pretender god. You know, like the list goes on. This is a hard thing to pull off well. But there's probably other ways of, you know, arranging such a thing. Anyhow, it's very cool. And I think that's probably it. I don't think we have any cool battles this turn, aside from that. But that was worth the price of admission. Let's take a look at score graphs as we close this one out. We're at our 26-minute mark, which is where I kind of try to end these. The Mictlan chart going upwards, which is what you want to be seeing if you're trying to win the game. Usually around this time, like, if you see somebody start doing this around turn 60 or 70, usually means the game's starting to spiral out of control. When position 1 gets farther and farther and farther and farther ahead like this, you know, it's like you're looking at an EKG or something, and it's like, you know, you've got like the pattern, the irregular heartbeat. You're like, this one's not long for the world. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. So tune in next time, see what happens. I think let's the most hype things are going to be this. We've got this huge TNT army that's going to be trying to knock Mictlan off this throne. If that doesn't happen, it's going to be pretty tough for Mictlan to lose. Like, if Mictlan can win this battle, and this is going to be a huge battle. I mean, there's a ton of sacreds. He's got 40 celestial soldiers who are Anakite tier. He's got 50 of these, 60 of these guys, 30 of these guys. The demons of the Heavenly River are so good. And then 126 warriors of the 5 elements. All very good mages. If he gets all the buffs off, and he's also got like 60 mages here. If he gets all the buffs off, I think he wins. It's my guess. But we've seen Lanka do really tricky shit to eke out a win anyhow. And it's possible that this army can reinforce all the way to here. If he has a flying demon commander, I think he can show up with another 100 plus Aussies. And that's enough to swing this battle. Still working on sieging that fort. So that's going to be probably the most hype thing coming up. So with that, we'll leave you. And until next time, take care. Peace.